Hello there, people of the internet. Before you go typing angrily in the comments, listen to what it is that I have to say. So I know that some super armor penetrating 8mm Mauser ammunition will pierce level 4 body armor, and people seem to have the assumption that this super armor piercing 8mm Mauser stuff has better penetrating capabilities than black tip 30-06, simply because black tip 30-06 cannot penetrate this level 4 body armor. And I will acknowledge, yeah, it does. It really does. So people are going crazy on the internet talking about how they would take a Kar 98 into modern conflicts simply because this Kar 98 ammunition is capable of piercing this level 4 body armor. Well, there's a couple of issues that I have with that. Whenever I get people that come into the comments talking about exactly this, they don't really take into the consideration just how incredibly rare and hard to find and expensive this 80-year-old ammunition is. And whenever you do find it, it is not always reliable because it's 80-year-old ammunition. Now, there will be some arguments as to, you take the projectiles, load it into a new modern cartridge with modern powders and modern primers, and you increase the reliability to damn near 100%, but I have a little caveat for that as well, and we will talk about that here in a second. Let me show off what I have right here. This right here is, in fact, German, legitimate World War II produced SMK stuff, and this right here is blue labeled box. Now, whenever people talk about this SMK ammunition, this is the stuff that they normally reference, because this stuff right here is, it's not common on the market by any stretch of the imagination, but there is some stuff on the market, and it is this stuff right here. And you can find it in some places. It is definitely more difficult to find and definitely expensive. This stuff right here is around $1 around whenever you estimate shipping and taxes and everything like that. So not the cheapest of ammunition, but also not the most expensive. What people are talking about whenever they're talking about the super armor penetrating ammunition is some red labeled SMK stuff, and that stuff is difficult to find, and when you do find it, it's like very expensive. So the odds of you coming across some of that stuff for your Kar 98, if you already have it, by all means bring your Kar 98 into battle and let your 5-round bolt action rifle get absolutely overwhelmed by a squad of dudes with automatic firearms. You do whatever it is that you want. But the red label box is what you want. The stuff on the market right now is a blue labeled box, and this right here is not nearly as good as penetrating armor than red labeled SMK ammunition. And that is what people are thinking of and talking about whenever it comes to this red labeled SMK ammunition. And we're actually going to test this stuff. So this right here, I'm going to go ahead and pull around out. This is genuine ammunition, a little on the old and grody side, but it does fire. I have fired some of this stuff on the channel before just to kind of test it out and whatnot. And this is armor penetrating ammunition. However, it's not the super hardcore maximum level armor penetrating stuff that you get with the red label boxes. And that stuff right there is some mean stuff, I tell you what. If you manage somehow to find some of that stuff, I mean, it can be found. If you go out of your way and start digging around on like various auction sites and the secondary market and whatnot, it can be found. But if you manage to find some, it's going to be dramatically expensive. So this right here, the blue labeled box SMK stuff, I'm going to go ahead and send around down at my steel target. I have some AR-500 steel down there. No, it is not level 4 body armor, but I do want to show something off right here. So what I'm actually going to do, whenever I fire this, I have my Yugoslavian 24-47 that I'll be firing this from. People are going to yell at me. They're like, no, that's not a Kar 98. I do have a Kar 98. You guys have seen it on the channel plenty of times. I've fired the Kar 98 a ton of times on this channel. As a matter of fact, I roll the B-roll footage for that Kar 98 on a pretty regular basis on this channel. The only difference is I've already fired corrosive ammunition through this thing. I don't feel like having to clean more than one rifle. And this ammunition right here, being produced in the 1940s, is definitely going to be corrosive ammunition. So this right here, the barrel length identical to the Kar 98. I think that the Kar 98 barrel length comes out to 23.5 inches if memory serves me right, and this right here is just under 24 inches. So if anything, they're definitely close enough for all the purposes that we're doing here in this video. But this right here may potentially, if people want to argue the most minute differences, might have slightly more muzzle velocity, but I am incredibly doubtful that that fraction of an inch is going to cause any issues, assuming that there is even a fraction. I might just be spitballing here. I'm going off memory. I haven't actually measured them out, but they are incredibly similar. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to send a round down at my steel target down there with this German SMK blue box ammo, which is what people are assuming is the stuff that will pierce level 4 body armor. Newsflash, it is not. It is the red label stuff that you guys are looking for, and that stuff will absolutely pierce body armor. So, well, the level 4 body armor, which is rated to stop black tip 30-06. I'm going to send a round at my freshly painted steel target down there. What I'm going to do, since this is a penetrating round and it has a very strong core, it's not just lead core ammo which disintegrates upon hitting my steel target. I'm actually going to take cover at a little ways back, so this way I don't risk any ricochets or anything coming back at me, because this right here is going to bounce off of that steel, and that's not something that I want to get hit by. So I'm going to send a round downrange here. All right, I am in cover and sending some lead. Fantastic. We hit our steel with our armor-piercing German ammunition. Oh, I wish this stuff wasn't burden prime, because I'd like to reload these cases, because it's, you know, World War II German cases, and that is always something that people seem to like. Okay, well, now that I've shot that, let me go grab the steel, and I will show you guys why this stuff is not the stuff that you are looking for. Don't worry, guys, I am on my way. This is a 1/2-inch steel, and it's definitely been compromised over the years. I've shot this thing a lot. But right here is our impact from our German SMK bullet. Definitely a sizable dent in that thing. It definitely did quite a bit of damage to my steel target right here. However, as you can see, it did not go through. However, I'm sure you guys see a couple of holes right here. One of these is from 30-06 black tip, and the other is from 308 black tip. So those did go through our steel target. I think that this one right here is a 30-06 one. I think that our 308 black tip, which was it was an M80 ball rounding. I fired that. I can't remember what I fired it out of. I think I fired it out of my TOZ 122, and the 30-06 black tip was fired out of a sporterized 1917. But as you can see, those did go through. I got two nice little holes that almost line up with my eyes so I can see you guys, but I just can't. So the German, apparently super incredible armor penetrating ammunition was unable to pierce my 1/2-inch steel target, unlike the black tip 30-06. Now this is not level 4 body armor, I will acknowledge that, but the test results that we are seeing here are fundamentally the same, simply because although this is not level 4 body armor, this ammunition is also not the ammunition that people are consistently talking about whenever it comes to the penetrating of this level 4 body armor. I have no idea if this stuff, this blue labeled box here, will actually penetrate level 4 body armor. That's not the test that I have run here, but people are under the assumption that this stuff pierces better than black tip 30-06, and that is what I'm here to disprove. This black tip 30-06 screamed through that plate and left a nice sizable hole in it. Black tip 308 did as well. So the blue labeled SMK box, that's not what you're looking for. If you want to be sure that you're getting better penetrating power than black tip 30-06, then the red label stuff is what you're looking for, because that stuff is unbelievably atrocious. And even with the super armor penetrating the super armor penetrating 8mm Mauser stuff, whenever people compare that to being better penetrating than the black tip 30-06, what they fail to realize is that, you know, although the argument is made for this German stuff to be able to pull the bullet, load it into a new case with new powder, new primer, you can do the same thing with this black tip 30-06. And the black tip 30-06 is rated to the specification of M2 ball ammunition, which is the military spec ammunition for this 30-06, which is actually loaded at a lower pressure than commercial grade 30-06. So if you have anything besides an M1 Garand, however it is you feel like pronouncing that, without an updated gas system, then you can safely run commercial grade accurate spec 30-06, which will bump the velocities of that black tip 30-06 up significantly by several hundred feet, and that would greatly increase the capabilities of this armor penetrating ammunition. So if you're going to reload your 8mm Mauser ammunition, you should take into consideration reloading your black tip 30-06 as well, to be at a higher pressure so you get more capable armor piercing ammunition. Typically speaking, your M2 ball ammunition is going to be traveling at around 2,700 feet per second or so. That is your military spec 30-06, and that is what the armor penetrating ammunition is rated at. However, if you bump that up to commercial grade ammunition, you can send the same projectiles traveling about 3,000 to 3,100 feet per second, depending on the powder burn rates and whatnot it is that you're using. And that is a significantly more velocity, which would give this ammunition significantly better capabilities. So take that into consideration whenever you are coming up with this debate. That being said, thanks for watching, folks. Hopefully you guys had fun. Hopefully y'all learned something. That paint was sticky because I just sprayed this thing. So before I go handling my rifle with my sticky painted hands, I'm going to go wash them. Probably with some lacquer thinner. So I'm going to go do that. You guys go off, have yourself a fantastic day. Like, subscribe, share. Description down below has a link to all sorts of stuff. Go check that out. What are you guys' thoughts? Is this the stuff that you guys were consistently thinking about? All the time in my comments, I hear people talking about this German armor piercing stuff and how it can pierce level 4 body armor. And I'm like, yeah, if you can manage to find the right stuff, you know, which is ludicrously rare and expensive, then by all means, you go right ahead and you bring your Kar 98 into a modern battle zone and let me know how that works out for you. But I've gotten a ton of these comments at this point. People are just infatuated with the Kar 98 and its ability to pierce this armor, unlike black tip 30-06, military spec black tip 30-06. So I will see you guys on the next video, and I have a couple of video ideas in mind, and I feel like it's going to be a fun time. I'll see y'all there. Since I've done this. Bonnie and Clyde be damned. Poor man's Garand. It's a shame that bolt-action shotguns aren't more mainstream.